My name's Chris Lawson, and I'd like to just ask you a few questions. Have you ever been spiritually abused? If so, what are you going through? Are you experiencing the ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster ride, the feelings of guilt and condemnation, and you can never measure up, you're never good enough, you've always got to work harder for God, that type of thing? Well, if you've been spiritually abused, you understand fully what it's like. I just want to share with you a little bit about what I experienced, what I went through. Don't need to know the details about it, but from an emotional perspective, I understand the dilemma that you're in. You see, when you're abused, you feel like you can't rise up and say something, about the issue with the leaders at your church or the abuser, whoever's been abusing you. You're timid, you're afraid, you're fulfilling what the Bible talks about. The fear of man brings a snare. Are you more willing to please individuals than to do what's right, what you know is right? Are you in a situation right now where you're afraid to confront the leaders at your church because you feel like you'd be ostracized? Well, if that's the case, you're fearing what they're going to do, but it's all in your head. Is it? No, it's not all in your head. You see, this is the problem. People oftentimes think, well, it's just me. It must just be me because my leaders are such godly people. How could they ever, be doing something that's not biblical or scriptural? Well, I'm not here to just knock down church leaders. I'm not here to knock down pastors. I love pastors. I love church leaders. If they're walking with the Lord, if they're born again Christians, if they're trying to do what Scripture teaches, hey, I commend that. But here's the thing. If they're out of line, and they're unrepentant, and they're above accountability, and they're abusing people, it's okay to stand up and say something. Maybe this is for you. You're watching this right now and thinking, I just don't know what to do. Well, here's what you do. You stand up and say something. Stand up, go and say something. Because if you don't, you're going to ruin your conscience. You just will. That's the consequence of being abused and not doing anything about it. You lose your capacity for decision making. You'll continually be on the roller coaster ride of emotions. One day you get up and you feel great. By that afternoon, you're in the gutter. And it's up and down and up and down. And it's a consistent struggle, day in and day out. And you're just destroying yourself in your head because you're not bold enough to stand up and deal with the problem. Don't let people abuse you. Don't let people push you around. A lot of kids get bullied on the playground. Well, you know what? A lot of adults get bullied in real life. In the secular workplace, it can happen. It can happen in a marriage. It can happen amongst relatives. Well, it can happen in churches too. So don't be bullied in a spiritual way by leaders who are abusive. Stand up and do something about it. You have every right to. You're a human being just like they are. There's no reason why you need to sit and be abused, be told what to do and put in your place when you know the leaders are doing something that is ungodly, that is unbiblical, or that's just downright abusive and heretical and false teaching. Be bold. Stand up and do something. Don't let people run over you like you're a doormat. It's time to just buckle down and deal with it. That's what you have to do. Because if you don't, you're going to wilt. You're going to be like a flower in the forest that's just been stepped on and has no strength to, get back up. Not that plants can get up and walk, but you know what I'm saying. So those are some of the things to think about. Nobody wants to be abused. I mean, if people do want to be abused, maybe that's the lifestyle that they've just always been used to. They don't know any better. But God doesn't want you to be abused. He doesn't. He wants you to have a joyful Christian life that's healthy, where you're nurtured with sound teaching, where you're able to go to a healthy Christian church, where there are people who, they're not going to look down on you because you're struggling with something. They're not going to, have to put you in your place because you simply ask a leader a question that might rub them the wrong way. So do something about it. And thanks for taking the time to watch this.